Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Now, let's talk about critical thinking in the Western civilization. Actually, critical thinking spread to Europe in the Middle Ages, and it happened thanks to Muslims who translated the Greek heritage and transferred it to Europe via Andalusia or um, or Al-Andalus, which is known today as Spain and Portugal. In Europe, in the 15th and 16th century, a separation took place between the state authorities and the religious authorities. At that time, critical thinking became the only method by which scientists at that time approached intellectual, legal, religious, and societal issues. In England, the English philosopher Francis Bacon noticed that leading the mind to delve into the fields of knowledge depending in its natural inclinations is unsafe. In his books, he emphasized the importance of experimental study of the universe. In that sense, he put the basis for modern science, and his books were the first written work about critical thinking in Europe. His revolutionary ideas influenced a lot of scientists at that time. For example, Johannes Kepler in astronomy, Galileo Galilei and Isaac Newton in physics, mathematics, and engineering. Also in France, the French philosopher René Descartes devoted most of his work to the study of mathematics and natural sciences. He said, "Since I was young, I received a number of irrational, unreasonable opinions that I used to consider right. And it is necessary to put a new set of bases if we want to have firm, lasting science." After that, he declared his most famous philosophical statement, "Cogito ergo sum," and that means I think, therefore I am. At that time, Descartes made a radical change in the basis of science and philosophy. Actually, he had remarkably influenced the way of thinking in Europe in the 17th and 18th centuries. One of the notable examples of those who were influenced by Descartes was the German scientist or German philosopher Immanuel Kant, who emphasized that all of our knowledge starts with the senses, the senses which are the first source of knowledge. Then it moves to the understanding, which is the second source of knowledge. And then it ends up in the mind, which fulfills the judgment function. In 1900, there was a new start of a revolution in natural sciences. The theory of relativity by Albert Einstein broke the basic frame of Newton's physics. Together with the theory of quantum by Max Planck, formed the two mainstays of modern physics. In the field of education, both William Sumner and John Dewey had influential ideas in education and social reform. Finally, we can't forget Bertrand Russell, who is considered the undisputed philosopher of the 20th century. His concept of critical thinking comprises both legal and ethical aspects. He was totally convinced that access to knowledge is not impossible at all, yet it may be arduous or very difficult in the beginning. He also defended the freedom of thought and the independence of scientific research. In addition to that, he disputed with those who called for solid education systems which encourage the herd mentality. Actually, in the time being, critical thinking is becoming an essential curriculum for students of different disciplines in all international universities. That is the end of this chapter. Thank you very much.